Right now on KOMO News at 11, a health alert, temperatures decreasing and COVID concerns increasing. Top worries from local public health officials.
Violence breaks out at a local Sikh temple. I'll tell you what led up to the disturbance and why it happened.
And the crush at the ballot box with early voter turnout. We break down the new numbers tonight with a crucial election just 16 days away. KOMO News starts now.
First at 11, violence breaks out at a place of worship. It unfolded late this afternoon at a Sikh temple in Renton. Tonight, we know that one man is hospitalized after being stabbed in the head with a sword.
And this was one person of several people that was hurt in this fight. KOMO's Kara Kostanich has been following this story, gathering new information over the last couple of hours. She's live in Renton with what she's learned tonight. Kara?
That's right, Stephen. Michelle, tonight the temple is locked up tight. Police say that this was a case of what they called mutual combat between two groups within one community. At the Singh Sabha Temple in Renton, a day for worship swiftly erupted into violence.
It was pretty chaotic.
Around 3 o'clock, police were called to the parking lot of the temple for a disturbance involving up to 25 people. But when officers arrived, they found 20 worshipers in a physical brawl inside the temple.
It's a very peaceful place where people come to like religiously meditate, and I don't think violence is never the answer to anything.
Police and worshipers say the fight started over religious differences within the Sikh community.
It's kind of been carrying on for the last couple of weeks, and they had an incident, I think, in Kent either 1 or 2 weeks ago, and it's now carried over to Renton today. 6 people had to be rushed to the hospital. One had a puncture wound to the head from a sword that was used inside the temple.
I am disappointed. I hope that whoever's in charge of the temple leadership can figure this out in a peaceful way rather than resorting to violence.
And police telling us tonight that they are having a hard time determining who the person or persons are who injured these people. I'm told tonight no arrests have yet to be made. Live in Renton, I'm Kara Kostanich, KOMO News.
We will keep tracking it. Kara, thanks very much. Developing right now, 2 people are in the hospital after a shooting in unincorporated Bothell. Detectives with the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit are investigating. We are working to learn more. We'll bring you updates as soon as they become available.
And new tonight, cleanup is underway after this statue of former Washington Governor John Hart McGraw was vandalized in downtown Seattle. The bronze statue is in McGraw Square. That's near Westlake Center. You can see red paint splashed all over that statue and on its base. We even saw KKK spray painted on it too. McGraw served as governor in the late 1800s. The artist Richard Brooks was commissioned to create that sculpture shortly after the governor's death in 1910.
A naked ballot turns up in Grays Harbor County. A woman in Ocean Shores received her ballot in the mail, but says it was missing its privacy envelope, and it is not the first time. She tells us she didn't get the secrecy sleeve with her primary ballot either, but that it did arrive after she had already cast her vote. When it happened again a second time, she contacted us.
We're all very confused. I think, yeah, we absolutely need some clarity. This is such an important election. I feel we all have to be on the same page.
Janice Murphy was worried her vote wouldn't count, but we reached out to the Secretary of State's office. A spokesperson said in part this, quote, ballots returned without the secrecy sleeve or envelope will still be accepted. If the sleeve is missing or if a voter replaces it, the Secretary of State's office says you can use another envelope or a piece of paper around your ballot before sealing it inside that return envelope. You can also place your ballot inside the return envelope without a secrecy covering at all.
And if you spot issues with ballots or drop-off sites, we want to hear from you. You can call the KOMO News Voting Problems Hotline. The number on your screen there, it's 206-404-4868. You can also email your tip to voting@komonews.com. Here at KOMO News, we will investigate any irregularities. New tonight, King County Elections says about 90,000 ballots have now been collected from its ballot drop-box sites since they opened last Thursday. About 1/3 of those were received just today. Right now, staff members are emptying those boxes every day. Get this, 4 years ago, only 16,000 ballots were collected from the county's drop boxes within the first 5 days after ballots were mailed out.
Boy, just impressive there. Well, earlier today, we did catch up with one of those collection teams. They're made up of 2 people, as you see here. We watched as this pair emptied a ballot drop box over at the University of Washington. And like boxes all around the city, we saw a steady stream of voters dropping off those ballots.
Clearly, the voters answered. I think this has been an unprecedented weekend in terms of the number of folks we've seen dropping ballots off at drop boxes.
We have been monitoring comments from voters. Some say they have not yet received their ballot. If you don't have it by tomorrow, that's Monday, you're going to want to get in touch with the King County Elections Office. We have all that information for you on our website. You can head over anytime to KOMOnews.com.
President Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden hit the campaign trail hard today with just a little more than 2 weeks to go until the presidential election. Michelle, right now, who will win this historic election is really anyone's guess.
President Trump is in Las Vegas tonight. The commander-in-chief, you see him here after campaigning in states like California, Michigan, and Wisconsin all weekend long. Earlier today, the president attended a church service at the International Church of Las Vegas. While appearing in Carson City, he claimed a Joe Biden win of the presidency would mean jobs being surrendered to China. He also made claims about coronavirus response.
He will surrender your future to the virus. He's going to lock down. This guy wants to lock down. He'll listen to the scientists. If I listened totally to the scientists, we would right now have a country that would be in a massive depression. Instead of, we're like a rocket ship. Take a look at the numbers.
Meanwhile, former Vice President Joe Biden hosted a virtual event with faith leaders and stopped in Durham, North Carolina to meet with voters. He stuck to a familiar message heard many times during this campaign. He says he will try to unite the country during a time when it's very divided.
I'm running as a proud Democrat, but I will govern as an American president. No red states, no blue states, just the United States.
His running mate, California Senator Kamala Harris, is back on the campaign trail after an aide recently tested positive for COVID-19. She suspended travel for several days and has tested negative for the virus.
Early voting is underway and in full force all across the nation right now. States are seeing record numbers of voter turnout. We have seen video like this out of Boston's Fenway Park. Check this out, showing extremely long lines from the air. You can see them there tonight. CNN reporting more than 27 million ballots have been cast so far this year.
Now to the latest developments on the coronavirus pandemic. Nationwide, nearly 220,000 COVID-related deaths have been reported, along with more than 8.1 million infections. Only 2 states are seeing their case counts trend downward. Washington State is not one of them. The State Department of Health reported 530 new confirmed cases today. That brings the statewide total to more than 98,000. Hospitalizations are up 24 to 8,018. For now, the state's official death toll is 2,239. The state health department no longer reporting new deaths during weekends. Instead, you'll see those numbers added to reports that are released on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Going to get cold outside. Temperatures here in Puget Sound region expected to dip into the 40s by next weekend. With those winter-like conditions come concern from health officials that COVID-19 will spread even more than it already has. The spread of the virus still happening in most parts of the state. So taking that spread inside, doctors say, will cause even more infections. That is one of the worries in Pierce County, which announced 108 new COVID-19 cases just today. An amount Nigel Turner with the Tacoma Pierce County Health Department says is the highest single-day count since August.
The closer people are, the less air circulation in a setting, the more likely it is to be transmitted. So certainly people being inside in closer proximity is certainly a greater risk, and it puts greater risk of transmission to populations that are at highest risk as well.
Currently, transmission rates, which are the amount of people can be infected by another person with the virus, is still above 1 in places like King and Pierce counties.
New tonight, a 6-year-old girl was one of 3 people who narrowly missed being hit during a drive-by shooting in Portland. A driver told police he was in the car with his girlfriend and her daughter when another car passed them. Someone fired several shots. At least 5 bullets hit their car. One ended up lodged in the seat directly behind that 6-year-old girl. Luckily, no one was actually hit. No word yet on any arrests tonight.
The largest wildfire in Colorado history grew in size overnight as winds, check it out, fanned the flames here. We just checked, and the Cameron Peak fire has burned now more than 203,000 1,000 acres, just devastating for that area. It has been burning since August. Right now, 62% contained. That is it. The rough terrain has really made it hard to fight this fire. Crews are trying an aerial assault to contain the fire. Right now, we know volunteers are evacuating livestock in areas where flames are coming close to ranches.
A woman missing for nearly 2 weeks in Utah's Zion National Park is found alive and has been reunited with her family tonight. 38-year-old Holly Courtier is from California. She disappeared on October 6th after taking a shuttle bus into the park. Courtier left her cell phone behind to take a solo hike through a canyon, but she never returned to that shuttle. Her daughter reported her missing 2 days later, and a search for her began. Well, today a park visitor spotted Courtier and told search and rescue crews who tracked her down. Her family issued a statement thanking everyone who helped with that search. No details have been released just yet on her condition or what she ate to survive.
Pretty big development here still ahead tonight. The plot to kidnap Michigan's governor.
The new video just released showing how a group trained as they prepared to carry out their alleged plan, and the troubling new information now coming to light.
Plus, one couple's unique plan to get married on the border, why they decided to tie the knot between the U.S. and Canadian borders.
And tonight, we are still tracking a very persistent convergence zone ongoing in Snohomish County right now for our friends in Monroe, Malpe. You are continuing to get doused with drenching steady rainfall and also seeing some of that rain extending into Edmonds as well as North Shoreline. I'll be breaking down when we could be talking about lowland snow chances. You heard that right. Coming up next.